up, toy fans? This is Brock Lauer and
Kyle Walters.
And this is episode 12 of, you know what it is, Talking Toys. And today we'll be talking about selling your collection and the modern day action figure today. Quick reminder, make sure to like and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube pages. That's Talking Toys on Facebook and YouTube, and we're also on SoundCloud, Talking Toys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Your support goes a long way for supporting independent YouTube channels such as ours and podcasts. So, a couple of new toys that came out recently since we last talked to you. Hasbro did get the license for the Ghostbuster figure line for the new movie coming out later this year.
No longer in Mattel's hands.
Yeah, I mean it's why not? Hasbro knows what they're doing.
Yeah, Hasbro is killing it.
Right. Also, Hasbro will, on the Marvel Legend front, probably see coming up in Toy Fair, the Avengers video game wave Marvel Legends for the new video game coming out. I think it comes out in May, but I don't know if that's going to be pushed back because I don't know if there's a delay with the game. Also, Marvel Legends, Walmart exclusive gray Black Widow figure in the gray suit. That's a Walmart exclusive. Target exclusive, white Black Widow in a white suit. Movie white Black Widow. That's kind of a deluxe with a stand, blast effects, guns, and widow stings. Kyle, what did you think of those? All those Black Widows I just mentioned. A lot of them because the movie's coming up.
I think they're great. It's kind of funny. I love Black Widow as a character. I just don't own any.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna own at least 3. So there's that. And plus the cool thing about the stand effects is I buy a lot of effects from Bandai Tamashii Nations. So I'm interested how that stand will stack up with other figures. Because if it stacks up really well with, like, say, an import figure or a DC figure or whatever, they might sell a lot of it just for the stand with the blast effects. Because it looks really nice. I'm very excited about all 3.
Yeah.
Especially the deluxe white one.
For me, yeah, I'll definitely get the Target white Black Widow. That's a comic version. And the movie deluxe Black Widow in the white suit with all that stuff. Hasbro progressing, as they are, giving us more effects and a stand, so that taking that next step and getting their feet wet with that.
That's the beauty of capitalism, my friend, is they see they see domestically, they see like a Diamond Select. Internationally, they see like a Mafex trying to do comic figures. And they see, like myself, like if I see a good import figure, I don't mind paying a little extra dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to keep a lot of that money home in Rhode Island, and they're trying to give people a lot of bang for the buck, which we appreciate because I don't mind paying. I'm guessing it'll probably be about $35 for the deluxe Black Widow.
Yeah.
And I don't mind paying that because for all that because I feel like they're giving us a lot.
Yeah, I would be lying if I didn't say that's one of my most excited times of the year when Hasbro makes their Toy Fair reveals, because they release so much and you're getting a lot, but you're getting great quality, and it's like makes me so excited, like it's my birthday or something.
Hasbro is ingenious, like the way they just acquire licenses. Like even though I'm not really a big Power Rangers fan.
Right.
The fact that they were able to get that away from who made it before? Takara Tomy, maybe? Yeah. I don't know. Someone made it. And then I think Bandai at one point, Bandai's made some of them in imports, but to be able to get the Power Rangers rights to an American company means they're definitely, they definitely shown their body of work with the Transformers, the Star Wars, the Marvel, like everyone. Shoot, they even, I wrote a paper for economics last semester about how they picked up the rights to, like, the company that owns Peppa Pig.
Right.
So Hasbro definitely knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and also wrapping up Marvel Legends news, you'll get the deluxe Venom figure, which was a Build-A-Figure, but this deluxe re-release, it has a black paint job as opposed to that purplish tint, shiny paint. I, for one, have only 3 parts of the Venom Build-A-Figure, but that's okay because I prefer this new Venom with this redone paint job. I don't have to go buying these Build-A-Figure pieces that are overpriced for the Venom. How'd you feel about that?
I felt good. I feel bad for the people who bought the original Build-A-Figure, but
Right.
It seems to be a trend which kind of makes me happy because I love the Super Scroll Build-A-Figure from what I've seen, and I want it.
Mm-hmm.
So now it leads me to believe that they're just going to, since they have the pieces, and you can make it a scroll or a Super Scroll, it just leads me to believe that they're going to just release a regular Scroll Soldier and you can army build that way. So I'm excited. I at the end of the day, they're doing it purely for money.
Well,
And they're smart because they're like, well, we already got these molds, we might as well do it for money. Plus, I'll admit it, the purple in the original Venom, kind of ugly.
yeah, it was, and I'm glad I didn't build it, but I had parts of it, and I thought it was really great Venom. But you can get it now, pre-order at Amazon and Hasbro.com. But I'm glad they went back, redid it. They could do the same thing with the Kingpin figure if they wanted to re-release it, but instead of the white suit, you get a black suit, maybe with a red tie or something like that. He's in the video game, I know he's in a black suit, and certain appearances, he's in a different color suit. So you could re-release the Kingpin just in a different color suit.
If they released Kingpin by himself, even in just a white suit, that wouldn't be able to stay on the shelves. I think that'd be a real hot commodity.
Right.
All they could charge a $35 price tag, because right now Kingpin is because that wave sucked. And unless you're if we both love Spider-Man, but for the most part that wave was okay, you had Six-Armed Spidey who was okay,
mm-hmm.
and then you had a new Black Cat which who cares, and then you had Silver Sable which is cool, but then I don't care about Red Goblin and stuff, but then they had the Kingpin in there, so I still do want that Kingpin, and I would love to see them re-release it. And then maybe I'll finally get my Smythe and a hover chair.
Yeah, you'll get that. Don't worry. I know you'll get that.
Plus
they have to release him when he's a mutant kind of thing.
Yeah, it's funny. Smythe, I guess I can kind of understand why they haven't released him yet, but I will still never understand the fact that since Hasbro's had the license from Toy Biz, they've never done a comic Mandarin.
No, not yet.
That's weird to me. They're literally doing what's his name? What's the Black Widow? Was it Red Dynamo? Is that the
Crimson Dynamo?
Crimson Dynamo.
Iron Man villain.
Yeah, the fact that they're doing Crimson Dynamo before they're doing Mandarin is insane to me.
Well, they could do Whiplash from the movie and from the comic too, and I think there's another one called Backlash and
they're
and the comic, a comic War Machine. They got to do that,
Yeah, and they're releasing in the Crimson Dynamo Wave 2. I can't think of the name, but the one movie figure in that Wave 2 besides Crimson Dynamo is an obscure Iron Man villain. I'm just man, this Mandarin better be amazing because they've taken forever to release him.
Right. All right. Other releases. Hot Toys is going to release a life-size Baby Yoda doll. No surprise there. NECA releasing an Ace Ventura 8-inch Tutu figure.
Oh, righty then.
The WWE figures by Mattel. You'll get Bianca, The Rock, Braun Strowman, EC3, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah. I'm not into WWE, but I bet you we have a couple listeners that are excited for those figures. And, that's surprisingly a very popular figure line just for, wrestling figures.
There is
a fan base.
Yeah, no, they occasionally they do some really cool stuff. There's actually one wrestling figure I want because it's hilarious. From San Diego Comic-Con this past year, I don't know if you saw it, but they did a Macho Man Randy Savage holding Slim Jims.
I think I did see that.
Oh yes, Slim Jim.
Everyone always gives me Brock Lesnar, because I have the same initials as him.
Yeah.
And so I think there was a figure released of him already or recently.
There was probably. I'm sure that dude is an absolute beast. UFC, and he wrestled at the University of Minnesota, won a couple national titles there.
Yeah.
I think he might have done roids at one point too. I don't know. That's besides the point.
He's just a big jack guy. A lot of people respect him.
They know who he is. He's one of the bigger wrestlers and stuff like that.
But can he turn his frying pan into a drying pan?
Pokemon reference, folks, if you didn't get that one. Also, Lego releasing the 1989 Batmobile with Batman, Joker, and Vicky Vale figures. That's a
so cool.
very big Lego set. Very much in demand if you're a Batman fan from the 89 movie.
And very much not something any kid or even us really can afford.
How much? Do you remember how much that was?
I think it was like $375.
Oh, is that all?
And I saw it in person, and it is so cool. And it sucks having to take a step back and be like, I got to be an adult right now. I can't get that. And they released even a mini-ish version, like
Yeah, well, they've had like smaller sets of.
Yeah,
it's not the same exact thing.
And it was even with the minier version, still sold out quickly to them for $80. It's funny that I guess what would this be considered, the 89, so the 30th anniversary essentially. There's so much cool product for 1989, and I'm just thinking like Michael Keaton and Tim Burton and all of them and Jack Nicholson have got to just be like
in the home.
like they're just like raking in the money.
Well, yeah, that's stuff.
Because even like the Mezco, I pre-ordered 2 that's coming out sometime later this year.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, who doesn't love the 1989 Batman movie? Classic.
Oh, exactly. And some other Lego releases, Lego sets from Star Wars. Duel at Mustafar, which will have Anakin and Obi-Wan minifigures.
That's the one where they're essentially surfing, right?
Well,
I have the high ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Cool.
It's off that scene. X-Sith TIE Fighter. It comes with Pilot, Finn, and Knight of Ren. Poe Dameron's X-Wing fighter that's in stores now. It's kind of like an orange X-Wing with Poe, R2-D2, and Knight of Ren, and some character called Jana. Moving on to Star Wars Black Series, they're going to release a Probe Droid figure, which was kind of a surprise. Some people have already in-hand images of that. And
cannot wait. I'm so excited.
And they're obviously releasing card back Empire Strikes Back figures such as Leia, Bespin Luke, Han Solo, Yoda, and a AT-AT driver. Those are the ones coming out of the Black Series for the Empire Strikes Back. I mean, like, it's funny with Star Wars at this point because, like, I'm going to get the Probe Droid, but I'm not going to get any of those Empire Strikes Back figures because this is like the upteenth time they release Han, Luke, and Leia.
You're just waiting on that Rose Tico, aren't you?
What? Rose Tico's that.
Rose Tico makes Jar Jar Binks.
Can't give that stuff away. The media, is so
like
weird.
An A+ idea.
The media is so weird on that because they'll be like, "Why aren't the Rose Tico figures selling? And why wasn't she in the movie as much as like the last one?" I'm like, because it didn't work.
She's a terrible character.
I have nothing against the actress. It's just the character and how she was written. There's so many garbage characters in Star Wars now. I mean, with the new trilogy.
It is funny because in the new trilogy, the only character, like, after watching them that I really like is, I like Kylo. I like Kylo, even though he's kind of whiny. Snoke. Snoke could have been.
To say about
when they killed Snoke.
This trilogy's been a disaster, in my opinion.
When they killed Snoke, I literally remember watching it, and I was like, really? To me, it was just kind of like a tokenized. The whole new trilogy was a tokenized version of the original trilogy, just with a female in it instead of Luke. It was just the regurgitation of the same original trilogy, except it was all with a female lead. I'm gonna help out Disney. If you're listening out there, I'm gonna help you out. The Mandalorian is awesome, and you have it executive produced by Jon Favreau. So here's what you're gonna do. Jon Favreau is going to executive produce every Star Wars from here on out. If he wants to produce it, guess what? You're going to let him produce it, and it's going to be good.
So fire Kathleen Kennedy.
Fire Kathleen Kennedy. Yes. Goodbye, Kathleen Kennedy. Or redesignate her to do, I don't know, Disney parks or something. Have her, like, run a concession stand there. No disrespect to people who run concession stands, but, like, she has ruined this Star Wars. But Jon Favreau is, like... He's doing some really special things.
Yeah, I like him, and
I mean, shoot, the guy helped literally jumpstart the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Without that Iron Man, there would be no Guardians, no Avengers, etc. Good dude. Jon Favreau, if you're listening, autograph a picture, send it our way. Thanks.
It's just, Star Wars needs to take a new direction. That is not going to happen with the people behind it now, and it's just frustrating. I don't know what to say. It's just a crapshoot.
It's just weird when we saw the trailer last year, and we still haven't seen the new movie. It's just weird.
It's terrible.
It's just weird looking at.
I haven't seen it, but I can just imagine it's terrible.
It's just weird looking at Star Wars and thinking like.
George Lucas is sitting by and he's like, what happened?
Oh yeah, it's just weird thinking damn, I just don't give a shit.
Right.
And it's just weird and loving Star Wars and just seeing something like that and just be like, it just doesn't. I just don't care.
Moving on, Mezco released 2 teases, but they've officially released images of the new 112 Thanos figure. Has interchangeable gauntlet hands, interchangeable heads, interchangeable regular hands, and also light up features on the gauntlet, and comes with a cosmic cube. Kyle, what were your thoughts on the Mezco 112 Thanos?
It looks cool. I'm excited about it. I'm still a little apprehensive after the debacle with Darkseid as far as the LEDs go.
Yeah.
Because it's just weird that companies like Hot Toys or other, even like Tommy's Pokemon light up toys or shoot.
Right.
Some of the toys you get from Burger King or McDonald's that light up well. They can figure out how to get a really good battery in there to light it up.
Yeah.
But my Darkseid figure sucked with the LEDs, and it disappointed me so much that I haven't even put the LEDs in my Cyclops because I don't know if I trust them with their LEDs. But
yeah.
But other than that, love it.
And they also
looks really gorgeous.
Yeah.
It looks very comic-y. I'm excited. I love Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
I think he did a really good job. But I'm excited that they decided to do comic book based Thanos instead of Josh Brolin Thanos.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they do a good job with some of the comic book, like Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and I think this Thanos is great.
I want it, but I'm going to hold off because I think they're going to make a variant blue, more classic version, like blue and gold, as opposed to the one they have now.
Ooh, maybe get a Thanos copter too.
I mean, I think they'll make one that looks more classic looking because they already have the figure made. And I really hope that they don't make changes that take away some of the detail as they've done in the past with the Daredevil figure and the Batman figure, the Silent Night one. So I really hope, cross my fingers, that they just don't mess with it from this point on.
I feel like you're right. I feel like they will because they like money.
Yeah.
And they
know they could sell it.
Yeah, look at something as simple as Iron Man. What they do, they're just like, oh. We'll also release 2 more variants of that, or Red Skull, or yada yada yada.
And they also came out with a tease of the Two-Face figure. They're going to release a 112 Two-Face figure. There's just a small picture online, but that's probably going to release fully on a Toy Fair. Excited, I know you are.
Yes. Yes.
So it's on your wish list.
Yeah, Two-Face was on the wish list, along with Sinestro and the Riddler. And I feel, because one of their things they said when they came out was they were like, if we release a hero, we want to release villains to battle it. And it's like, okay. So, they're coming out with some cool ones like the Morbius. I'm excited about Morbius.
Yeah.
Two-Face. I really want a Sinestro, though, because I love my Jon Stewart. The Hal Jordan looks cool, too. I feel like they can definitely do a really cool Sinestro.
Yeah. They definitely will probably do away a lot more Green Lantern figures.
And coming out of Pop Funko, some new releases. Here's a list of them. We'll make a Pop Funko of these, of Willie Nelson, Aerosmith, Slayer, Shania Twain, ZZ Top, Yoda with a hut, Deathstroke versus Red Hood, Glow in the Dark Hot Topic Naruto, Avengers Hulk, which will be an Amazon exclusive, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Edgar Allan Poe, Hermione's Patronus figure, Wilma and Betty from the Flintstones, and Marvel Comics Elektra. Did you see any of those pictures, or any of those interest you?
Yes, they showed a lot of cool ones, like Gambit was on there, and then the Batman movies ones.
Yeah.
They did some cool stuff. It's Funko is just.
They're doing like musicians now. That's kind of cool. They're doing different takes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Brian Mariotti is a genius. Like, dude, you're a genius. But the way he buys up licenses or and creates partnerships is really cool. Because I remember he said when he first bought the company, he wanted a Star Wars license, and then now the fact that they have licenses with like Starkist,
Yeah.
the freaking tuna fish brand, and like everyone in between. I mean, I'll admit it. I gotta show you the picture later, but I bought a Funko Pop which sold out on their website of the Pop Tarts mascot from the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's just.
I thought the breakfast cereal ones were a good concept for Pop Funko.
Oh, it's just ingenious, and it's just like, I mean, I some of the ones I even have, you just look at the resale value. Like I have the Hot Topic exclusive Thanos in his chair from Guardians,
Right.
and the resale value is just stupid. Like, because people love that shit because it's honestly, a lot of it is like, I don't collect every Funko, but a lot of it is really fun. Even when they do like things like the fact that they've done Krampus,
Yeah.
which is just like it's an American company, but they're doing stuff from like the Nordic countries.
Yeah.
And I just think it's cool. Plus, I mean, the Edgar Allan Poe, I might actually get that. That looks cool.
I'd collect a bunch of Pop Funkos if they did my favorite comedians like Bill Burr, Jim Gaffigan, Tom Segura, Louis C.K. If they did like something like that, like just like typical comedians, I'd buy all those Pop Funkos.
They might. You never know.
That would be really cool.
I mean,
I would get so addicted really quick with that because
even like
that's like a cool like.
Oh yeah, like even the
cool.
the Gollum I bought you where he's just a nice see-through mold, and it's cool. Like
Some of them look better than others.
Oh yeah, like some like I definitely like the ones that have a little more je ne sais quoi with them, like
originality.
Yeah, I like excitement. I like poses, and ironically enough, I bought 2 today.
Yeah.
King Cold and Android 16 with the metallic paint, both from Walmart. And I know Dragon Ball Z is not your cup of tea, but as soon as I saw them, I was so stoked. Thank you, Medina Walmart. You came in handy for something.
Right. Okay, and just a quick reminder to make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, Talking Toys, on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you, the fans. See what you got to say, whether you either agree or disagree. Just keep it family friendly and polite. All right, so moving into our first topic, it comes in every collector's life to a degree. Selling your collection, and a lot of people do it different. They come upon selling their collection differently, whether it's because they need the room, or maybe they're having a kid, or maybe their significant other says, get rid of some of this stuff, or maybe you just feel like you don't need as much, or just want to make some room for other things. Kyle and I have both been, in the past year, selling a little bit more of our pieces of our collection that we just don't seem to, or pieces that just don't seem to fit in to our collections as much as they used to. It's something every collector has to do eventually, because you can't take the stuff with you after you die, unfortunately. And it's too bad, because there's probably a lot of room to display and store that stuff in heaven.
Right.
So I guess I'll start off with, like, it came to me like I had a lot of stuff and not a lot of room left, where I had to sell some of it, and also like the stuff I've bought in the past 2 or 3 years I didn't like as much as when I first bought it. So I did end up selling some Star Wars ships and some Avengers figures, just certain like figures, not anything Lego, but like certain Marvel Legends that just don't fit in my collection anymore, that I don't love as much as I did when I first bought them. And it's kind of like you could do it in different ways. You do garage sales, and you could do like we do Neotech, and we get a table and we sell some of our stuff there. Selling my collection for me was like a new experience for me, like being on the other side of that, because I'm usually at cons or shows buying stuff and trying to get the price down, as opposed to now I'm a seller and I'm selling the stuff, and I kind of need to sell it not only to make a little bit of cash, but also you want your stuff to go to a good home where it'll be appreciated. So like with me, like I Neotech, you get a table and you pay for a little table, and then you put the stuff you're selling on the table, and then you put like little price. What I do, put little price stickers on each item, and I fair price, like $10 a figure, like if it's open, and that's what I would do. I do like $20, $15 for a figure that's unopened. Certain things that I just didn't need anymore. So like what I do is I get some stickers, I price them out, and then you just like see who's interested, and you engage in conversation, and then people will buy your stuff. I've sold puzzles, and I sold figures and graphic novels and stuff, and even if I don't sell it at like a show or anything, I usually go to like a small town toy shop, and I'll sell it to like a small business where it's not only in good condition, but it's in like stuff that's in demand that I know that they'll buy. So
Plus, it helps continue to circulate the comics economy in that that regard.
Right, and you're supplying a store, and
instead of like a Target or a Walmart.
Well, yeah, but they don't buy stuff.
But or like a. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
like a pawn shop.
Well, yeah, you're kind of doing like I recently took my graphic novels to a toy shop, and he also sold some comic books, and he bought them all, which I was happy, and I got over $100 for them, and with some of the toys as well. And I know, like, you never know, like what you read will like inspire. It's for the next kid or next generation where they'll be inspired to read something. Like it's like a passing of the torch. Like here, I have had something, I found it, I bought it, I collected it. Now I'm ready for it, whether it be a figure or graphic novel, to move on to the next generation or other person or next buyer who will probably appreciate it more than I do. So hopefully, stuff like that. And you also get some cash along with that, if you sell that stuff, and you could buy either more stuff or just put it in the bank for a rainy day. And that's what I like, about selling my part of my collection. Not like, and it clears up. You get money and you get more space. So there's nothing wrong with that. I like it. It really opened my eyes into seeing the collector market in a different view as a seller standpoint. I really enjoyed that. I usually brought, like, if I'm at a show, I bring like $100 in cash for like change purposes, because usually, if you're at a show, you're doing it with cash and stuff like that. So Kyle, what do you think about like selling your collection, your experience, what you learned, and your perspective on that?
I mean, people sell their collection for lots of reasons. I mean, I have sold things because I'm bored with it.
Yeah.
I've sold things because I was going through some tough times. And then mostly I just sell because I don't want it in my collection anymore. I want to make room for something different.
Right.
Your collections can go in different places, and it's just it just depends on what you're interested in. Sometimes interests change. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to collect that anymore because of the finances, because you'd rather focus on something else. So
right,
and it's fun to like you said, see it go to a good home. I know for me, like nothing's a greater feeling than when like you sell something and then you're able to turn around and put that money towards something you'd rather have different,
Right. Like for me, I was happy like when I sold my like 3-inch Avengers collection, that this guy bought it for his like niece or his daughter, I think it was. And he's like, oh, she really likes the Avengers. I'm like, all right, yeah, I said, just buy them all as a set. I'm like, she'll want to play with them, and they're good quality figures in good shape, and I don't want to break up the set, so I just said, like, sold them all at one price to the guy, and that was really fair. So, I mean, was there anything like you learned that you didn't notice before as a collector when you sold something off?
Not in particular.
No, that's cool. I mean, it was interesting being
just
on the other side of that.
Shipping can be expensive.
Right, and it's interesting being on the other side of that table where there's no pressure. I mean, to a degree there is where you want to make money, but and then like if I was at a show long enough and the show kept going on, I'd obviously lower the prices to a degree.
Oh yeah, haggling's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Like, if Pawn Stars taught me anything.
Exactly. That's kind of a good teacher.
The expert says it's worth $2,000. The best I can do is $5.
Right.
I'll give you $6.
All right. Well, I think we've covered that section of selling your collection. It's just kind of something I think every collector goes through, and throughout life and through different situations. It's not a bad thing, but you don't want to sell your entire collection to Like you want like some parts and pieces, keep the hobby alive. So okay, so our next topic is the modern action figure today. So you and me have been talking a lot about McFarlane Toys, and they've been releasing this new line of figures, the 7-inch DC figures, which a lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are buying, a lot of people are kind of divided where a lot of people love them, and hey, that's good for you. There's nothing wrong with that, and a lot of people don't like them. Well, if you do like them, good for you. That's great, and nothing against that. Nothing whatsoever. But however, you and me, we're not crazy about the new figures, just based on our opinion. Now, the figures that have come out are the Batman Who Laughs, animated Batman figure, animated Superman figure, animated Green Lantern figure from Justice League series, animated Harley Quinn, comic Batgirl, comic Nightwing, comic Batman, comic Superman, and comic Superman armor from one of the comic books. It's to name a few of the characters in the wave, and this new line of figures of McFarlane has come out. I'll start off with you since I started off the last topic. Kyle, what do you think of the McFarlane figures, the future of them, and just the overall how they did them? Your opinion.
I'm nervous. I want to say that like Todd McFarlane seems like a very nice guy, and I really want to meet him. And he is, in my opinion, one of the most influential writers ever. I mean, what he did with Image Comics, what he did with Spider-Man, the dude's he's a legend.
Right, I respect him too.
However,
yeah,
like it or not, people need to realize that Marvel Legends sets the scale. 6-inch is great. Not 5, not 7, 6-inch. Because 6-inch allows you then to do, like if I have a 6-inch Spider-Man, I can then scale something smaller and larger. Like, for example, with Mattel, I have Mr. Mixelputik, or however you say that.
Right.
And then I have Dr. Psycho, and they scale really well because they're tiny. So they scale really well with larger figures and so on and so forth. And I don't like 7-inch figures. I have a couple from NECA because they scale, they somewhat, you can still tell they're slightly taller, but I'm hopeful. I don't have one in hand to really judge 100%, but some of them look like trash.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for the Batman Who Laughs, mostly. I also hate the fact that his build-em is only with 3 figures, and it's like a Hot Wheels car. That's really lame.
Right.
And some of his things don't come with a lot of accessories. And then also, I love Batman. He's my favorite character in comics. But all he did was Batman universe stuff, and then he did Superman, and John Stewart was the odd one out, and the John Stewart looks like crap. So I don't know. I'm nervous because he has it for 3 years. All I want is good quality 6-inch DC action figures at a $20 price point.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's too much to ask.
You're right.
I almost want Hasbro to just get the license.
I hear you on that one. I'm not crazy about this. I was optimistic, but I was right about the 7-inch scale. Honestly, here's what I think about it. And you're free to disagree with me on it, folks, viewers or listeners. But here's what I think. I think he botched it. And he botched it big time. Because 7-inch scale is a way too big of scale. I've said it once, I'll say it again.
And DC Collectibles is doing 7-inch scale, so it's like...
Right.
Why would you not differentiate?
How are you going to accommodate for bigger figures, such as Bane, such as
Killer
Croc, or Darkseid? Like...
Metallo, Solomon Grundy.
Right. How are you going to account for bigger figures like that? They're going to be huge, and no one's going to have room to store them. That's one problem with it. Another problem, the wave lacks diversity. It's just all Superman and Batman, which is fine, but like...
I love Batman, but like I don't...
You're releasing 2 different Batmans and Supermans in the same wave.
Yeah, which leads me to believe that like, and if he doesn't do this, he's a fool. So it leads
Right.
me to believe at Toy Fair that he's going to show some Wonder Woman 1984 stuff.
Yeah.
Because I will admit, one of the cool things like Mattel, it's weird because Mattel sucked for a long time.
Right.
And then they were just hitting their stride. And, like, honestly, that Alfred figure made both our top 10s last year. The figure was amazing.
I saw Talker Art reviewing the figures. Pins are showing on the outside of the figure. Mattel didn't do that. He compared both those figures. Mattel did not have pins on the outside of the figures. That's like a big faux pas. You went from figures that didn't have pins on the outside to now figures that have pins on the outside. Another big thing is that paint looks very scuffable to me. I haven't handled one in my hand.
I definitely...
The accessories look non-existent or not that exciting.
When I get the, I'm gonna definitely get the Batman Who Laughs, and we'll see it definitely have to see it in person.
Right.
But I have had some people who say, the only thing from this wave that's I feel like has gotten universal praise is the vehicle. A lot of people say the vehicle's cool because it can scale with
when it comes to that,
other lines.
When it comes to that, I get what he's doing, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you're not doing a Build-A-Figure. I could respect that because you want to do something different. But okay, you're doing a car, okay, but I don't have a problem with the car, but it's like, what are you gonna do when you run out of Batmobiles and Bat Signals? Like, are you gonna do a Daily Planet globe? Like, you're gonna have to eventually move on to something where you have to invent to keep up it in the spirit to build something. And it's not something I'm really excited about.
And it's like he's down to what, 2.5 years to make his mark?
Yeah. And it's like, I see these figures in stores still, so I don't think they're selling like gangbusters. I mean, people are buying them, but like...
But they're only buying specific ones.
Right.
Like, after the first, people getting excited, I feel like pretty much the main ones that are selling are the Batman Who Laughs.
Right. They're better than the DC Essentials, but not by much. And then you look at them and it's like...
And the DC is... Yeah, at least these come with some accessories, but like...
Right. I don't know how the...
Like, no ab crunch and shit for some of them. Like...
Yeah.
Weird.
It's just frustrating because I don't know how they articulate. So I don't know how articulative they are. And also, the paint looks cheap and...
It's just weird.
They just don't look like good figure. I don't know what it is. It's just... I don't know if it just looks cheaper or they just look... A lot of them look ugly to a degree. I mean, not every single figure does that. And then he did the thing where, well, we're going to do animated figures. It's like, dude, I already collect the DC Collectibles animated figure. You want me to rebuy animated figures for your line? Are you serious?
And the animated figures he did, like, if I had to rate the three, the Batman looks decent. The Jon Stewart looks like garbage, and the Superman looks like garbage. The Superman, his weird, like, bent metal piece doesn't even look like goodness. It looks like a children's toy where it's like, oh, let me do this 5 points articulation with like the bent piece of metal. Like, it looks. I just...
And they don't come with stands. You know they're going to be really top heavy.
Well, yeah, some of the ones come with stands, some of them come with flights, some of them don't, and they all come with that collectible card. It's like when you compare it with the image, a lot of times they don't look like the image. Now, one thing I am hoping he does is and I know he's been asked about it before, is his interpretations of the characters that he drew in the comics. Those would be cool, but
yeah,
I mean, he could release some amazing stuff, and I did hear the three wheeled Batmobile vehicle thing. I guess is pretty cool, but overall, I'm just kind of like,
I'm just not excited about this, and I feel like he botched it, and I feel like
I'm just disappointed.
I think I go back to what you said at the beginning, where Hasbro Marvel Legends sets the standard, and this is what he hasn't done. Where, okay, you're not doing Build-A-Figure. Okay, I get that, but if you're gonna make like movie figures, dude, you're gonna have to get in with the 3D face sculpting. That's the standard now. Like that's
right, the Harley Quinn is just. I love Harley Quinn as a character, one of my favorite characters.
Right.
And he made Harley Quinn's. He gave her the worst expression ever, where she's just kind of like, I have to poop. Like that's what her.
Yeah,
that's what her.
Animated
and it's just, even some of his other figures too. Like it's weird. Like Game of Thrones line, the dragon really cool.
Yeah.
Jon Snow really garbage, and it's just weird. It's like
the face sculpts are off, and listen,
It's like he hasn't figured out how to make articulated figures because he's stuck in statue mode.
They're doing the regular sculpting like by hand with the face sculpts. Like the Harry Potter figures don't look that great. Like their faces, they're ugly, and it's like. As figure collectors, you've seen the 3D face sculpt. It's out there now. It's out there. You can't put it back in the box, and it's out there, and that's what I expect with like movie figures now. 3D face sculpting, good articulation, and accessories. I think that's what makes up a good line of action figures. There's a good paint, good accessories, 3D face sculpting, articulation. It's not that hard, and he hasn't done that. And his figures look just, compared to Marvel Legends, because we're gonna compare them to Marvel Legends. They look old and they look cheap, and they look like garbage when you put them next to each other. And I don't like saying that. I'm just saying like you've seen a better quality figure at a $20 price point, and some of his figures are at the same price, and some are a little more. The Batman Who Laughs looks great, but are some like the movie figures gonna like look? They're gonna look like trash because guess what? You don't have 3D face printing.
It definitely makes me nervous because I'm just like I, there's so many characters I want to add to my collection, and it's like I just want to see how it's gonna stack up, or am I gonna just have to get all my DC figures from like import companies right now and from Mezco, and then maybe occasionally from DC Collectibles when they release like a Grey Ghost animated figure,
right.
Because DC Collectibles is slacking, and it's frustrating. I miss Icons. They just didn't scale that well for the most part.
No, but
yeah,
Icons did it right in the wrong scale.
Yeah,
like it's just what people want. I mean, it's just like I don't know what to say at this point because it's like I had such high hopes that he wouldn't botch the license, and he did, and he went 7-inch scale, and I knew he was going to go 7-inch scale because of the Fortnite figures and stuff like that. It's like, and a lot of people are mad because they want to put him in scale with Marvel Legends. Well, he specifically didn't want to do that because he didn't want to be like his competitor. Now, I get that, but at the same time, 6-inch is the scale, no matter where you are. But like at that point, you're like, 6-inch is the scale, dude. Just that's the scale for most action figures. Even like,
even Mezco scales well with 6-inch.
Right.
Some of the figures might be a little taller, like as far as like the human figures, not like a dark side.
Right.
But overall, it scales well, and their figures, like if they approach 7-inch, they don't show it in their legs like a lot of these.
I just don't understand with companies in this day and age where you have, and this could be like attributed to any company, where you have social media, and you could like throw something out in social media and see the reaction, and just ignore that. Like
right. Well, thank God the studio who made Sonic is like the one lone exception of
like
them
the
being
Sonic
like.
thing's a good example, but like, come on, like, are you listening to the fan? Like, I know what like you're thinking, but are you listening to the fans on social media? What would you like to see in a line of action figure? Okay, blah 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 blah. Like you see articulation, face sculpting, and then like 6-inch.
6-inch.
Everybody wanted 6-inch, and I don't know. Like, I guess he's just trying to be different, and it's just I just don't. I'm with you. I'd like to see Hasbro buy the license because at this point I'd like them to do it, or Mattel to buy it back at this point.
It sucks because even like I know like even if it went to NECA, NECA would also do 7 inches.
Yeah, probably.
But NECA's 7-inch figures. I have a couple. They scale relatively decently. Like with that, NECA just once again NECA's another company where they don't necessarily. I love NECA.
Right.
But I mean, their turtles are articulated, but a lot of their DC figures look really good too, and it's just weird because NECA came out after McFarlane, and I just don't know why Todd McFarlane does not know anything about articulation. It's weird. A lot of his sculpts are beautiful, from his other figure lines, but it's just not including the face, of course.
It's just it's like you see Marvel Legends. Everybody that's like that is the most popular thing at Toy Fair and San Diego Comic-Con. how are you like not giving people effects and stuff like that? Like, I get you have to try to keep it in a budget and stuff like that, but it's like, I don't mean to tear up his figure line, but it's like, come on, dude. It's like, this is what you released after like 2 years of waiting. This is it. Like, I hate to just
It's weird being like
twist the knife, but like,
it's weird.
like,
It's weird
on.
missing Mattel. But I miss Mattel.
I do, and it's like, even those DC Universe figures. Remember those? Those were like those were the figures.
Those were amazing.
Yeah.
For their time, but then after a while, Mattel, you started to see like, oh, they're using too much of the same body molds, and it got boring after a while. But like just now, you're just like.
I mean, I think you
like,
just got to get with the times. Like, everybody wanted 6-inch. You didn't do that. You know, face sculpting. You know, like that's just you can't put it back in the box. You have to compete with your competitors through 3D face sculpting. You can't do it by hand anymore. You just can't. It looks like garbage. And
right, it's the difference between that crappy Ray and like
right,
and like the
and like
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Right.
Tarkin looks great.
Right.
Ray, not so much.
Because you have like blank faces, and like I could test this with the Harry Potter figures. The Game of Thrones figures could have turned out better, and it's just like
it's weird that like the Game of Thrones figures, we were like, wow, these dragons look cool.
Yeah.
Wow, the Night King looks cool, and then we're like, wow, Daenerys looks like garbage.
Like she's about to cry or something. You know, I just think that's what makes up the modern day action figure. $20 price point, good accessories, good paint, and articulation. I think that's what it comes down to, and I think that's just a lot of companies just have to like get in line with that. I think like NECA's done great work with the Ninja Turtle line. Like Mattel's doing good with the WWE and Jurassic Park line. And like McFarlane Toys is just, to me, like I want to get into their figures, but it's like I get around to paying that much for the figures for what they are. And if you like them, hey, God bless, enjoy them. Hey, I wish I was there with you, but that's just how I feel about the figures. And I don't expect them to be exactly like Marvel Legends, but I expect them to like be in the same arena as Marvel Legends. And I think that's what we'll close off today's episode with today. Just make sure to like and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube pages. Join us for Toy Fair. All our Toy Fair coverage will be on Facebook.com Talking Toys. You'll see all the latest pictures and updates on our Facebook page. That's kind of like our website. And also, next episode is going to be all about Toy Fair, folks. From Lego to Pop Funkos to Marvel Legends to NECA to Mezco. Just anything that's coming out. Mattel.
A whole enchilada
of Toy Fair. So that episode, we will talk about everything releasing from Toy Fair. It's just going to be a live stream. And we're just going to, me and Kyle will just sit here just like as our last live stream, just talking about what reveals came out of Toy Fair, what releases came out of Toy Fair. Feel free to be interactive during our live stream, to like, comment, subscribe, ask questions, start up a conversation. Anything you can do to make our channel bigger. We thank everybody who's been listening and watching to our past episodes. We got a good turnout for our last episode around Christmas time. It's the first episode of 2020, and just continue with your support for listeners and viewers like you. Not to sound too much like PBS, but yeah. So our next episode will be a live stream talking toys. Toy Fair 2019, we know that's coming up. That's February 22nd. So make sure to hit up our Facebook page around then to see our updates. And then sometime after Toy Fair, when everything settles down, we'll do a live stream. Feel free to be interactive and responsive to our live stream as well. Because it's a toy community. It's a big, fun, lovable toy community with awesome fans such as yourself. This is Brock Lauer.
And Kyle Walters.
And...
don't be the last person to leave Krypton.